Okay, so I'm just gonna show off everything that I've actually made in the past week or so. Yeah, it's only been a week. So let's go. Let's do this. So this is the Akai LPD8. I just picked these up last week. I bought them for the new stem stuff that when it comes to Mixxx. They're actually going to be releasing being able to work with stems in your DJ kit. So I figured I'd be prepared for that, especially since that's something that somebody who mostly deals with effect chains and everything else would be really interested in. So here it goes. I have basically made this. I had to map out, I literally made this. I mapped out everything when it comes to the RGB lighting. You can see it flashing here. This is like the little demo that I have running at the beginning of the script I have for these in order to show off the RGB. It actually starts with a scan. You can see it right here. I'll just save the script file again. See? Little RGB scan, rainbow. And then it goes into this kind of starburst pattern. I made a couple of patterns. You can actually, I made one other pattern, I guess. You can actually have it rotate through rainbow effect, every pad, and basically rotate through all the rainbow colors in the rainbow. I'm going to keep saying rainbow. Going to show what all this can do. It's really cool. So I'm going to load this track in deck 1. You see how it lights up. This is yellow. It's a yellow track right here. And it's yellow right here. This is one on my left. Deck 1. It actually lines up rather well with my DDJ FLX4. Okay, so I'm going to load up deck 2. See, it loads up with pink because that's the color that I've actually picked for this track. You can see that there, nice and pink. Really cute. I love pink, as you can tell. Lots of pink. My pink pants. Okay, so I'm just going to hit sync there because, these songs probably just don't go well together, but I'm going to test with them. I'm going to turn down the volume. Okay, so I'm going to hit play, which isn't working because I forgot to turn on the DDJ FLX. Unrelated. But you can actually see in the right here, track 1 is playing, so it is actually strobing, and it'll flash and complete the full circuit every 4 beats. This is configurable within the scripts. I actually made variables just for this. I'll show you later. And as you can see, I will pause this and it will stop strobing. And it will default back to full. And you can keep doing that. That really isn't cool. Same thing with deck 2. Very, very good. Absolutely fascinating. I love this. And you can actually configure how much it dims by as well, and how many steps. There's a whole calculation actually labeled out in my script. I believe that's it. Oh yeah. So I also have the stems, because that's what we're actually doing here first and foremost, and what I bought them for. So we can mute that, and as you can see, this one has actually turned off automatically straight from there, or I can hit it as well. I can hit that, I can hit this. That'll mute the whole stem on the left. On the right, it will actually mute the whole effect. And you can mute multiple ones. And I have a script problem. I will have to fix that real fast after this. But when it comes to the rotaries, I am going to, So on the left, the same thing with the rotaries is you turn them up and down, and they will actually turn up and down the the volume of the stem, or the volume or the amount of the effect, which is very, very useful. Really cool stuff. Of course, this is absolutely fascinating with a track that actually uses a lot of vocals. I'm trying to remember. I think this one's good. This will be a lot of vocals. I'm using my cheap speaker here. You can let's jump up there. You can actually, I've got tremolo there. You can actually do a filter echo. You can hear it's really cool. Cool. Wonderful. If my rotaries are working, I can get them working. Just not right now. Okay, so really awesome stuff. Of course, each individual controller goes to each deck. Really cool stuff. Cool. Let's go to the code. The code is the wrong size, so we'll bring it down. Let's fit this. Transform, fit the screen. Cool, much better. Okay, I'm gonna, that, wonderful. So we're looking at this. We have the light program, which is the default information here. And you can see this stuff on my GitHub. It actually describes the stuff in writing. I'll try to link my GitHub with the video as much as I can. But it basically, this is a preamble. I think one of these, or both of these, or all three of these describes what we're doing here, on what setting is actually being used. And then it actually goes into the pad. Pads are 24 is actually pad 1. So it just starts on 24. The pads, it's actually doubled. So you have two hexes, two hex elements, and then it goes into the actual lighting. Now this is the default that I have set for my program, so everything's black. But how this works is, this is R1, so if you wanted to do white, you'd go like this. So this would be full red. It's RGB. This is the max value for full red. This is the max value for full green, and so on. You'll notice there's more than 6 here, so it's 2, 4, 6. I tell you, this is really difficult to keep following in order to keep the array working. Everything was really such a pain in the butt. So there's 6 here, and there's also 6 here. Now this 6 is actually for when you push the button. When you push the button, it lights up. You know, it can light up or it could go dark, depending on what you set this to. Technically, you could set it to zeros like this, and then it's black. So when you push it, it'll go black. But that's for pad 1. That's what pad 1 is lit without being pushed, and then when it's being pushed. And then it ends out with 00 and then 25. It does that. And then it goes to 01, have more. Ah.
Hello.
I'm recording a video.
That's right.
We have 26. Okay, it counts up. Counts up. And it keeps going until you hit 2A, 2B, and then after 2B it hits the maximum, not 1. Actually, this actually counts up too, which is like number 7, which is 8 because it starts at 0. That's 8 pads. And then it goes to 24 again, but it's only a singular. This is actually for the rotaries, as far as I can tell. This is rotary options. You have 8 of these. It's really cool. And then it ends with the MIDI post, sysx message. Conclusion. Cool. So you have that. This actually stores the current light colors. It's useful for when we do temporary changes and everything else. Like we do the rotating through the colors and everything else. I defined all the colors here, what they are by default. And then there's the strobe. You can see all this code in my repo. I'm sure there's some bugs I've got to work through. This is actually the alternate you can use instead of the splash of rainbow for the demo. This will like rotate through all the pads the same color, rotating for all the colors. I'm not going to use that because I prefer the star one, the splash, but it's good too. This is the initial startup. It scans through each individual pad. Then it goes to the rainbow burst, which is the burst, the splashes. I've got my helpers and everything. This is how I set the lights. I actually replaced I splice in the light color arrays. It's an array of arrays when it comes to defining the light colors. And if you only have 2, then you're defining one for the track color, probably you're defining all of them. This is just 2, meaning this will be the first pad not pushed and then pushed. And it'll just apply that to all the pads automatically. I thought I had. This is when you hit the button and it turns it off. So if there's a separate array that tells you which lights are off. I want that separate from the colors because the colors, they might be black, they might be white, they might be anything. We want off to be off, and we just set that to black. It's logical stuff. Anyway, I think that's about it. Get the track color and everything. It's a really cool thing. I say check it out. Check out my repo. Yeah, thanks for joining. Bye.